This is the Ranger Report Podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ranger Report Podcast. We have been gone for a couple of weeks because life, but we are back now. I'm glad to be back. Apparently, our guests today and Jeff Wilson have been taking care of it by throwing out like fantastic podcasts over the last 3 weeks and at least giving me something to listen to. So, John, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going great. What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Doing good. Always love having you on. Yeah, but like I said, you guys have had some like stellar guests, some great podcasts.
By the way, I'm CJ Berryman. And
oh yeah, I didn't say my name either. So
I'm part of this.
This is Ben and CJ, y'all. In case you didn't know who is hosting this podcast.
That's right. If you're watching on YouTube, again, we're sorry. So Wade said that on the last show. Don't watch it because CJ was in a robe. And Wade was making fun of him for
I was wearing a freaking robe. Would you like to see me wear a robe right now, John?
No.
Hey, yep. Probably don't.
Imagine what the guy who bombed our bathroom saw. I mean,
no kidding, man. No kidding. But anyway,
I was legit wearing a robe on our last podcast.
It was awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Rangers this time, since we didn't really do that last time. We had Wade on, and it was more of a laid back show,
guy, right?
Yeah, that was the music guy. Yeah, that was the music guy. So
Christian music, yeah.
Yep. He's hilarious. But let's talk about have the Rangers done anything over the last 3 months? They've just been sitting so quietly, no pitcher. I mean, this pitching
been a horrible offseason. I mean, they said they were going to do something. They haven't done crap. We still don't know what's going to happen in left field.
Yeah, they had
we still don't know what's going to happen. But we still don't know. Like, could the Rangers have the best rotation in the AL West, John?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think we all thought this. Look, so Jeff and I talked about it before the offseason really got going. And I think all of our minds, we thought, okay, they're going to go after one of the big pitchers. They probably need to get three. And of the three, legitimately, of the three we were saying that we thought they ought to get, we thought Martin Perez was one.
Yeah.
Right.
And so then they would go get a really big name, and then they would probably go middle tier. Well, before we even got going, after the Martin Perez thing happened, Jeff had contacts that were saying, Martin's gone.
Yeah.
Legit telling him that, hey, he's not going to be here. And Jeff was going, look, I'm here, and he's not there at all. Then we heard he's getting the qualifying offer. Next time I saw Jeff, and I was texting him, and he was like, they're softening a little bit. I'm hearing maybe he's going to accept it. And that was just telling me Martin wasn't getting the offers that he thought. That qualifying offer, the Players Association made a huge mistake by not doing that during that negotiation last year. If they would have elected to have a draft for the international, to do that international signing that they just did.
Well, it's still a huge
deterrent.
Salary upgrade for Martin. So
yeah, but what happened is when they attached that draft pick to Martin Perez, he didn't become as attractive because some teams can't afford to lose a draft pick.
Because
And so it takes a lot of the teams out of the market. Well, the Players Association want that gone. They want that draft pick. They want that to be taken away from qualifying. They want to get rid of qualifying offers.
Yeah.
And the owner said, that's fine, but we need to do some sort of draft with a salary structure like we do with the American draft with the international players. And that's all they wanted. And man, they balked on it, said no. And they said, okay, we're going to keep qualifying offers. And it hurt Martin Perez. Look, he got 19.4 million or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Perez ends up accepting the qualifying offer. He's back. So I think we thought,
and here's the thing, John, he loves being in Texas.
That's no doubt. He wants to be here, but look, when we had him on the show, and after we were done, I wish we could show that. We're not allowed to, but we were just sitting here talking. I mean, Jeff and I were in the studio. He was on Zoom. We're sitting there talking, and everything's done recording. We're just sitting here, got him on a Zoom call, shooting the shit with him. And he was making no deal. He goes, look, I love it here. I want to be here. But he goes, I deserve to get more money. And, I deserve to get something. And he goes, so I'm not just going to say, hey, I want to be here, so that's it. I mean, they've got to be reasonable. They got to make me an offer. So I knew then he wasn't kidding around. He said, look, I I'm back. This is the way I'm going to be. And, I'm not just going to accept anything they throw out there. They got to be reasonable. And they were apart at this time. He had talked about the offer he had gotten. He had talked about what he wanted. And I'm telling you right now, I can't believe they don't have that deal. But I can't talk about what it was. But he had a deal that he would like
4-year deal. Yeah.
But at the time, no, it was a 3-year. And at the time, Chris Young had made no moves. And so he didn't know where this was going. Anyway, so we get Perez back, right? So we get Martin Perez back. So we figure, okay, there's 2 more probably pitchers they're going to go for if we want to consider it a good off season. And that's what we're figuring. Then all of a sudden they make the trade and they get Jake Odorizzi. And you're like, okay, well, that's a good, I kind of figured that's like the guy they're going to get.
Well, now he's going to be like the swing guy because he's not
even in the rotation.
They filled it. Yeah, they fill it up.
But when they got Odorizzi, that meant to me probably one big pitcher, one big name. And I was thinking Rodon. Everybody thought Rodon was probably who's going to be and all of that. And then we're sitting there. I was with Jeff.
That's who me and Ben were thinking was Rodon.
And then when DeGrom came across, I think the whole world went, holy. I mean, of course, Mets fans freaked out.
Yep.
What's his name? Is it Sherman? Joel Sherman up there? Literally. I mean, I've wondered, when the Mets lost out on what's his name, I thought he might have a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was not doing well, but the Mets weren't just signing everybody and going $800 million over the salary cap. I mean, he was not doing well. He could not believe that Jacob DeGrom, the best pitcher in baseball, was not going to play for his beloved Mets. And so it was Heyman, John Heyman.
It was Heyman,
John Heyman. Yeah.
You've had a good couple off seasons when you tick off all the Dodger fans and all the Mets fans in back-to-back off seasons.
Absolutely. Well, they're just going there for the money. It's like, and then people are now starting to go, well, maybe not. Maybe this team will have something. So look, and then the week before Uvalde signed, we kept saying, well, they're thinking about they might get one more arm, and nobody thought Uvalde was in the picture. And I was like,
we had no idea.
They're not going to give up another draft pick. I mean, they've already given up the 2nd round pick. They're not going to give up the 3rd round pick.
Yep.
And then what happened though was they won that lottery where they're getting the 4th pick.
Yep.
They should have gotten the 7th pick.
Yeah,
they're getting the 4th pick, and they thought we're going to get enough prospects.
So it kind of bought them back in.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, we could lose the 3rd round pick because we're going to get a stud at number 4.
Yeah,
and because we can just overspend if we need to. And I mean, I don't think that they think that they're going to have the luck they had last year, where they went for Rocker and Porter kind of fell into their lap at number 4. I don't think that they think that this year, but I honestly think last year they had they were picking third.
They were 3rd last year.
They were picking 3rd last year. I think they had 2 guys on the board. One of them was Holiday, and I think they had the kid. I forget his name, but I think they had those 2 on the board. And if those 2 were not gone, then they really didn't have somebody that stood out in their mind. I mean, there were a lot of names that everybody was linking them to, and they thought, well, crap, you know what? Let's go get Kumar because that was the best guy in the draft the year before all this happened. We went and watched him pitch.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, look at it 2 years ago, would you imagine getting Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker?
Yeah, no kidding.
In this same draft? No, you wouldn't.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. And so that thing with Porter, though, that was crazy because Porter,
and Porter, that's a great.
Well, every prospect thing has Porter picked above Rocker.
Yeah,
right.
He was the number 1 high school pitcher coming out of high school. His numbers were video game numbers. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's got 4 pitches. I mean, he's young. He's come on the show. He's a really fun kid. He was going to Clemson, hard commit to Clemson, and I think where the money they knew that was going to sign him after he got past like number 12 or 13, a lot of teams were like, okay, it's going to take at least $3.5 to $4 million to sign him. And they didn't have that. And, it was starting.
Well, and the Rangers adjusted, their salary. Yeah. Their
with
salary.
Kumar, that slot was $8 million and they got him for 5.2.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we've got the money. And he said the Rangers have reached out to him around the 3rd round, 2nd or 3rd round. They're going, hey, would you take this if you're there? And he was like, yeah. And so they knew, and they were like, if he actually falls to us, and they were watching the board, and they were like, if he actually falls to us, he's on board, Yeah. And so that was great. And so that all happens. I mean, and we were talking about this year's rotation anyway. So that's why it was with that draft. No one thought Uvalde, and all of a sudden they got fourth pick, and all of a sudden that Uvalde thing happened. And Utah, that was the nicest guy we met. We met with him right after he did his press con. I tell you what, let me give you hats off to the Rangers. It's not me. You guys know I'm just like you guys. Jeff Wilson has contacts.
Yes.
And he reached out to those guys, and they have gotten us everybody the day they signed. We got Bochy, we got DeGrom, we got all of them that they put them on with us the day they signed.
Yep. And
so it was really cool. And Uvalde was probably the best. We were there for the press conference for all three, and Uvalde was talking to us afterwards, and we're like, hey, we're going back to studio. We'll see you here in just, about 45 minutes. He's like, all right, man. He's high-fiving and talking to us. And Jeff had made a paper airplane and given it to his kid, because kid was trying to fold a paper airplane. Jeff folded a really cool one and gave it to him. And he goes, yeah, he was still holding that back there.
No, that was a great show, man. He was just, you could tell he was just such a nice guy, man.
And it wasn't just money. He was like, he's from
this area. So,
he's down from, he was from Alvin.
From Alvin. That's right. Yeah. That's
Little
right.
Town,
Yeah.
Alvin,
Ryan,
Texas. And he's the second best player to ever come out of Alvin.
Yeah. No one else will ever be the best player to come out of there. That'll always be Nolan.
And tomorrow, listen, we got a good one. We have confirmed it, and y'all will hear it here if it comes out before tomorrow. But Hannah Huseman's going to come on, and she's the mental.
Nice.
I tried to get her on last year, and we couldn't work out a time. So
she is a busy person, and we had some people approach us about it, say, hey, and she's going to come on tomorrow.
Cool.
Weather permitting, we may have to do it like this. Normally we go in studio, but I was telling Jeff, we can just do it like this. We absolutely have to. We're going to try to go in studio and do it. And she's in Virginia. She just flew to Virginia Monday. Okay. I don't know what she's doing up there. She lives in Tennessee. But if you've ever been there at a game before the game, when you do batting practice, and Ben, I know you've been there, when we're down on the field doing batting practice, she's out there throwing balls with the guy. I mean, they love her.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know exactly, that mental health. I need the mental coaching too sometimes to, that's why I'm so fat, but she is super sweet and nice. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. She's got a pretty good YouTube or Twitter presence. She does little videos.
Yeah. I've seen her little videos. They're great. Like I said, we reached out, but like you said, she's so busy. I just couldn't get her to time that we could actually do it. So I figured we'd try again sometime this year, but I'm glad y'all are having her.
When I reached out to her, then she had said, kind of like probably you did, and she gave me her phone number, said, yeah, just text me, whatever. Sounds good. And then Jeff actually reached out and he said, I'm going to reach out to the Rangers just to make sure they know. And the Rangers waited 2 or 3 days before going, okay, that's cool. Because I imagine they were probably saying, you can't tell what you're talking about or do stuff like that. But, I'm more interested in what you do. I mean,
I wanted to talk to her about just what the job entails, not anything about individual players. Just
what the job. Corey.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to go into that. So
why get him to talk? What are you going to do to get Corey?
So why did Marcus Semien suck for the first month of the season?
Yeah, what the hell was wrong with him? This had to be your fault because his mental capacity wasn't there.
So that's awesome. But pitching, Phil, back to pitching. It's just, I mean, if they stay healthy, there's almost no way the Rangers don't make the postseason. If all 5 of those guys stay healthy.
Yeah. And there's the other half of it. You got to play some offense, but last year they were 5th in the American League in offense.
So that brings up another question that I was wanting to ask you. What are we going to do about left field?
Right now, it looks like they're going to go with what they got, and
Bubba
probably.
And Brad.
Well, look, I think Brian Reynolds, everybody wanted to go get Brian Reynolds, who I would love. But, But, I got into it with a guy from Pittsburgh when he told me what they wanted, and I said, well, good luck. I mean, we're not paying that.
Was it Chris Halleck?
He is not. No, it wasn't Halleck. It was like, I'm sorry, but he is not Mike Trout. I mean, you're asking for Mount Trout, and he's not Mike Trout. I mean, he's a good player, and I'd love to have him, but he is not Mike Trout, and I'm not giving you. He wanted 4 of the top 5 prospects the Rangers had, including Young.
Shit!
And I was like,
really?
I'm sorry, no. Because that's what it's going to take. And I said, if that's what it's going to take,
good luck. Yeah,
I said he's going to be playing in Pittsburgh till the trade deadline, and you're going to get one top 100 prospect along with some other guys.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, I know he doesn't want to be there because they kind of insulted him with the offer they gave him, so he wants out of there.
$50 million below what he wanted.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was super ridiculous. But but I think with Bubba and Smith and Duran and Brad Miller and
Matthias.
I think and Matthias. That's right. I forgot about Matthias. Yeah.
And see Ben, Bubba, I think has a shot to.
If Bubba can get on base,
if he can get on base, you can't stop him. You cannot.
He never got caught stealing last year. He just overslid.
He never got caught. He overslid. Yeah, that's what Jeff pointed that out to me.
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't even realize he got that. They caught him 2 times.
Yeah, they caught him 2 times, but it's because he overslid.
They didn't catch him. He slid past the base. And what was it? The bases are bigger this year.
And if I remember right, was
even shorter?
50, 53, 54 in the minors. How many did he steal? It was. I don't remember, but it was over 50. It was over 50 stolen bases at Round Rock.
Hey, he was screwing with pitchers when he got on base.
Oh yeah, he was
over there. They knew.
Yeah.
Going.
Well, he was in their mind.
Oh, absolutely.
He was in their damn mind.
Well, he's the kind it reminds me of back when Elvis first came up, the 2010 playoffs when he stole home base against Tampa Bay. Like, it kind of reminds me of that confidence is that he knows if he goes, he's going to get it.
Yeah, but he messes with him too because he's fast enough. He knows he can do it now. Yeah. But you got to watch the timing on a left-hander because it's a little different.
Yeah.
I used to get picked off when they were lefties just because I don't think it's fair that they can do that. But I mean, they used to pick me off all the time. But I'm telling you right now, when he's almost able to go, even if a lefty picks him off, it takes a good relay to get him. If he's taken off, it's going to be tough to get him. And he. With making the bases bigger, and they did that. They made the bases bigger to try to prevent players stepping on first baseman's feet or whatever.
Right.
And they're doing it for safety, but they're making it tough on catchers, man. It'd be a lot easier to steal bases. But now you've got without a doubt, he's the best base stealer in baseball. But now you got to perform out there. He's a great defender. I think they're going to go with what they got. Bubba will probably make the team, I would guess. And I went back and looked at Mark Matthias' his numbers too, and I'm like,
he did a kick-ass job.
Yeah, he hit a walk-off.
When he got
And I'll tell you what, he stayed in Texas all this winter. When we were there last Thursday, they had this, get what they call it. They have all the top prospects.
Yeah, that showcase thing they did. Yeah,
they do a little deal. It's a leadership conference or something, and they make access to them. So we went out on the field to talk to them all. And while we were out there, Matthias and Marcus Semien are out there playing catch in the outfield and warming up. They're wearing their pregame stuff and working out. And Matthias had told us at the end of last year, he goes, I think I'm going to hang around here and just work out here all winter. And he's been here. So, I wouldn't sleep on him. I tell you what, he's got a 40-man spot. They can't put him in the minor leagues. They'd have to DFA him if they do that.
Yeah.
But he's a good player. His numbers are not bad. He played mainly at AAA for the Brewers last year. Got a little bit in the major leagues, but performed well when he got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He flat ass tore it up when he got here.
Yeah.
So
he was solid. Yeah, he was solid. Now, and Brad Miller was hurt. So Brad Miller was a good player when they signed him. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's still stuff that can happen during spring training where somebody could decide they're not going to try to go with this player and maybe they start wanting to move them and things will happen. They signed the kid, what's his name? Smith. They played in Japan last year. He came out spring training.
Oh, yeah. What was his name? I know who you're talking about.
In spring training, he had a hell of a spring training for the Rangers and then got a chance to go to Japan. He didn't do well in Japan, but he's back here. He's another outfielder, but he's not on the 40-man, so it's a minor league deal. And then, there's some people that think some people get DFA'd. It may not make other teams, so that could be there. And then you go in, and if the weakest spot's left field, You've got the prospects. You still got everybody there to go make a move.
That's the thing. That's the thing that me and Ben have been talking about for weeks now, right, Ben?
Yep.
Is the prospects that are available in the farm system that you can send. You can send, but they're not doing it. They're somehow holding on to it. So,
well, the right deal apparently hadn't been there.
I mean, and we all thought, including I think you guys and us as well, all thought that several of these guys would be dealt before this time. The backlog of guys, but now like the Aaron Zavalos and the Dustin Harrises and the Louis Helen Cunha, they're all still there. They're all still in the. They've got quite a log jam down there.
Yeah, and Duran. I mean, I thought for sure either Duran or Smith.
Duran. Yeah. And Josh Smith.
Yep.
Duran played winter ball and he played outfield all winter ball. He's one that could definitely open up.
Blaine Grimm.
I was gonna say, with you guys having him on, I was gonna text him and call him a liar, because when me and CJ had him on, he said he wasn't going to the Dominican this year, and then they talked him into it for the playoffs.
Before we talked to him after he got there, but I guess the general manager kept in touch with him, and then they got to the playoffs or got right to the end.
And then of course he had that walk. That dude, man, there's not a baseball anywhere that he can't crush.
Yeah.
Well, I kept telling everybody when we went to spring training last year, and the players were still holding out, or they were still locked out, and just the minor leaguers were there. And Krim had played in winter ball, and he got there. He was far ahead of everybody.
Oh yeah,
and he's overtaking live batting practice, and I don't know who the pitcher was. I mean, but it was live batting. It wasn't just somebody just throwing stuff. This guy was trying to get him out.
Yeah,
and he hit 3 home runs in a row off the guy.
Yeah, that dude, man. I've watched him.
I caught one of them on video, and I was like, he just hit 2, and I put my phone up and said, I'm going to try to get this. There's no way he's not going to hit 3, and he just nailed one to center field.
He's the nicest, laid back dude.
Very much.
Very laid back.
Yeah, I covered him. I covered a couple games at Frisco and Round Rock, both when he was at Frisco, then when he was at Round Rock. And just the sound when he gets a hold of one, you've heard it too. You're just like, holy moly, man. It's sort of like when Sam Huff gets a hold of one. That sound, man. That sound is just like,
that's somebody we need to talk about right meow. Sam Huff. What are you thinking there, John?
Well, unless they move Garver or Heim.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess look, he plays first base too. It wouldn't be I don't think it's out of the question that the Rangers would carry 3 catchers.
Mm-hmm.
But I would almost guess that if they do, just because Garver's going to play first,
Garver. There you go.
But they need, like, if you're going to have both of them in the lineup, it's good to have a catcher there where you don't have to eat the DH spot or something like that.
Right.
To do that. And so you're looking at, I would guess if they do carry an extra catcher, it's probably going to be some kind of a veteran guy that can sit on the bench. And basically you're just down there for emergencies and you're not worried about getting them at bats. Kind of the Charlie Culberson guy.
And you don't want to waste Sam Huff.
He needs to be batting.
Well, I kind of see the Trevino deal where I think if something comes up where they can get him an everyday job, that they will ship him off to get him an everyday job because they like him, but there's just not a spot for him. I mean, if I'm honest with you,
Garver's a free agent after this
year. That's what I'm going to say. I would probably take him over Garver. So I don't know. I mean, but I understand they got to keep Garver. But Garver's bat, man. When he's on, he's incredible.
He's a good bat. And
he's a great bat.
If you're going to see him just DH and play first base, but Garver asked for the surgery last year because he could not stand not playing in the field.
Yeah, he wanted to catch.
He said it.
Well, he tried to keep playing through it, but
he was. He was allowed to play through that injury and just hit, but it drives him crazy when he's not part of the defensive end of it. He said, he goes, my mental health wasn't good because I wasn't in the field. And he goes, I don't mind DHing every once in a while. It's totally cool. But he goes, I got to know I can get on the field and play. And so I'm like, look, if let's just go get the surgery. If we're not going anywhere, let me go and get the surgery, trying to be healthy going into spring training. Yeah. And it's not something I'm trying to clean up and do at the end of the year. So he probably could have got back by the end of the year last year. And they just left him out there on the IL just to finish the season. But he has said over and over, he goes, my bat sucked and it struggled because I wasn't able to play offense or play defense.
Yeah.
And so that could be a whole different guy. If he's the guy that he was in Minnesota,
Yeah.
That would be
that's an
hell
upgrade.
of a
that's a
hell of an
Josh Young and him are an upgrade from the team that scored. Only 5 less runs than what the 30 less runs is all they scored less than the Astros who won the World Series.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my thing is, okay, now we're getting, they're additions by subtraction, I guess you could say. Josh Young coming back and being healthy, and Mitch Garver coming back and being healthy. I think that will upgrade the offense immediately.
Yeah. Well, what's going to upgrade the offense too is knowing that you got a pitcher that walks out on the mound and is basically,
Thor.
Saying, look, look, if you can get me 2, I'll probably be okay. Because the most of these guys can shut them down and keep them in a game. Where last year, there was a lot of guys that were getting, you're getting out of the game early.
Well, and that actually, sorry, sorry to interrupt you, bud.
No.
It brings up a question. What do you think about Dane Dunning? What are they going to do with him?
Yeah.
I think that Jack Leiter, I'm starting to lean towards Jack Leiter is going to end up in AA again, because I think Dane Dunning, Glenn Otto, Cole Reagan. I think Cole Reagan might make the team as a reliever.
Yeah.
But I think that AAA rotation is going to be, Zach Kent.
It's going to be insane.
Cole Winn. You're going to have Dane Dunning, Cole Winn, Zach Martin, Glenn Otto. Glenn Otto might end up in the bullpen. I don't know. He could probably do it. He's good one time through the lineup.
Yeah.
Throws 98 miles an hour. But good Lord, they're going to have some guys that were on the major league staff last year, probably in that AAA rotation, which is going to push Leiter. I bet you Frisco opens up the year, and I bet they have both Leiter and Rucker in their rotation. Yeah. And I really thought Leiter might move up, but I think he's going to be there. And then, that AA rotation is going to have Leiter, Kumar, Owen White, is probably going to be there. Whoever Vanasco has been moved to there.
Ricky.
He might end up in the bullpen.
We've had him on
Cody
the podcast
Bradford
twice. Cody Bradford had a great end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. He started out a little poorly, but he came on and he's going to probably end up in AAA. So, the depth, you always look at what a good starting rotation, and in good years, you're probably going to use about 10 starters. You got 5, and then you're going to have a few that are going to have to come in and make starts.
You got to plan for injuries. Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like bad injuries, that somebody tweaks an ankle, and they're like, hey, we're going to skip a start or two, let that just be healthy. And then, we'll bring someone up to make a spot start or 2. And then your hope and prayer is always that guy comes up and pitches 6 scoreless. And they're like, we're going to give him 1 more. And then he pitches, gives up 1 run in 5 2/3. And you're like, golly, this guy's looks like he's ready to go. And then you got decisions to make. And that's a great problem to have right there.
That is a huge, awesome problem to have.
Yeah, that's a great problem to have. And so, but they've got the depth to go dip down. And now that you see, you got Wynn was already on the 40-man. I think White's on the 40-man now. And then who else just joined? Zach Kent joined.
Yeah, Zach Kent.
Zach Kent. Yep.
So those guys.
Zach Kent's a Ranger Report lover.
Yeah, well, you guys are his good luck charm or something.
Yep. Yeah. So he's got all the talent. I hope he can make it.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
When he's on, he's unhittable.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy too.
And he's
you root for those guys.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right, well, I cannot wait for spring training to start because all these decisions will start being made. Guys will get DFA. The Rangers will move people around. I think this spring training is going to be one of the most fun ones in years because there's so many expectations on this team.
It's going to be so fun because we don't know what the hell's going to happen.
No.
It's going to be busy.
We have no damn clue.
It's going to be real busy.
Yeah.
And we're getting to go. We're lucky. Yeah. Roxo is going to send. So Jeff's going.
We're trying to go.
Jeff's going the first week when they all report. Pitchers and catchers and all of that. Yeah. Then our producer and I are going out March 8th, and we're going to be there through the 14th. So that's like a Thursday. We're getting there early in the morning. We're going to leave.
Hey, will you bring us with you?
You want to get my luggage?
Yeah, I'll sleep in a car, man. I don't care.
We were going to last year when we were going to have to pay for it. Jeff and I, we didn't have the deal yet with Roxo and all of that. Jeff was just lining up something for himself when that was going on, and he stayed out there a lot.
Yeah.
But I went out and we shared the room and we shared the rental car, and I paid for my own way and did all of that. But then we had talked about, if we were coming next year, that we would just take off and drive out, and we would drive out and stay and then fly back if we needed to, and keep a car there and do all of that. And now it works out where Roxo is going to pay our way for that 1 week. And and Rangers, it's pretty cool. Look, we've had, I was telling CJ this the other day, I can't disclose what all's happened, but John Blake came to our studio and we had a 2-hour meeting with him.
Oh, wow.
So so John is fantastic. And you've met him, Ben.
Yep.
And I think John has been here since 88 or 89, something like that. And
he's been there a while.
Yeah.
84 maybe. So he's gone through way before this social media crap and all that. And he's watched media change. And he was like, he knows now that it's about social media, and he has no control over the Texas Ranger website. He has no control over MLB rights. He has nothing. And so he apparently watches our show and he likes it. And he was like, I like it. And I see what you guys are trying to do. And his words to us were, he goes, he couldn't guarantee anything because he is never going to break the guidelines of MLB. He can't ever do that.
Yeah.
But we were talking about
he's not going to break code.
They can't do that. I mean, that's why he's professional. He's been in this job for as long as he has, and he's so well respected around the league. But he said, he goes, look, put together a proposal. And he goes, ask for everything that you even think you would never get. Put it all in a proposal and let me see what I can do. And he said, I love what y'all are doing.
Everything. Throw it all out there.
Well, he knows us too. So he could come to us and say, hey, can you guys do this or that? Or tell us why we can't get someone on or do whatever. He wants to help us do things. We're talking about maybe doing, a player show, doing stuff like that. And I mean, we're going to do, the producer of our show is bilingual. And so he's going to start doing, he did one video where him and Martin did a Spanish
one. Yeah.
And he's going to hit up all the young Latin players and just do little shows with them. And we're going to try to get the Latin station going and doing all that.
Where's Michael Young?
Michael Young, he came on.
I know. It was great.
I know. I was telling
CJ this. It was really cool. Look, Michael Young I'm starstruck with these guys, right? I haven't ever met him. So he comes on the show.
Shit, I'd be starstruck if I fucking met Michael Young.
And so he comes on and did y'all see it? He was fantastic. He was fun, and we did all the questions at the end. And then, I was talking about the clowns and doing all of that.
That part was my favorite part, man.
Well, this thing, when we were there Thursday.
Well, with Elvis Andrews, when he was doing his Hall of Fame tour.
Yeah, put the mask on. And but so we were there Thursday, and Young was down there in the dugout. He was down there with Chris Young doing all that. And we were talking to the players, and as we came walking by, he called me out, said, "Hey, John." He goes, and I went over and, kind of gave him a high five and talked.
That's
and I was
cool,
like,
man.
And I said, "Man, that clown thing." He goes, "Everybody loves that clown thing." And I said, "Man, it is really funny. Everybody's really, there are a lot of comments about that."
Yep.
And I was like, "You need to come in studio, and he goes, "Yeah, we'll do that." They all say they'll come in studio. We'll do barbecue. I keep, we've told them, you come over, we're going to have food for you. We had it for Colby and all the guys that have come in studio, Mike Maddox, who came in, him and Jeff are real close.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah. Mike Maddox. By the way, I got to bring that up. How cool is it to have Mike Maddox back?
That's great too.
Yeah.
Hey, the best years in Ranger history. He was there.
Yeah.
And he said, and him and Bochi are on the same page. While analytics plays a big part, he's also like, look, you ought to, this whole thing about facing the lineup for the third time. He goes, since the dawn of time, when you face the lineup for the third time, it's always a little harder. So you got to bear down, and it's always going to be a little worse when you face them the third time, but that doesn't mean you can't face them 3 times.
Yeah.
And he said, so you're talking, not doing that. You need to be out of you need to be out there till at least the 6 innings, what he's saying.
Right.
And he goes, it takes the pressure off your bullpen. You've got the guys out there to pick and choose from to come out for that. So, yeah, he was really fun to listen to. He's a fun guy.
So John, did he rub your shoulder a little bit?
I did ask him, the very first question just to be really, really funny. And I was like, okay, since you're in here, I'm going to ask you the most obvious, stupid question you've ever heard. And he goes, okay. And I go, is your rotation better because Jacob deGrom's in it?
I remember that.
And he goes, yeah, that's a stupid question.
Yeah.
And I don't think he got that I was being sarcastic. And then all of a sudden he realized, okay, you're just being funny. And I'm like, of course I am.
In all my years of doing podcasts, the best one I ever got, and I've told CJ this before, I'm sure I've told it on air, but I was doing just a general sports podcast, and we had Mickey Spagnola on, and we were talking to Mickey. And I asked him a slow pitch, like softball question to start the interview, because I thought, it'll be good. It'll get him in the mood and all that. And I finished the question, and he was quiet for about 5 seconds. He goes, man, that is a really stupid question.
Well, Brad Sham also called me a dumbass.
He did he did on the show. That's true. He did. Those are great. Those are great moments though.
Well, John, and one of the deals that I think John likes is, the way that our podcast works is Jeff's brain is crazy. I can bring up a player and I can go, what was his name that signed here? And he goes, oh yeah, not just that. You got to remember in 2008.
Have you talked to me?
Well, but Jeff remembers.
Jeff is everything. Crazy though. He does.
He's like a computer brain. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be easy since I come in now. I used to do all this prep and I still get stuff together and I get it all ready. But when we do our Ranger thing or whatever, I said, what are we talking about? And he goes, ask me about this, ask me about this. And then that can lead me to more questions. He's got more info in that brain. All I got to do is steer the bus at him and do that. And so when we do our fun questions, I said, look, if they're laughing at the end, they're going to love it. And I think that's what John likes. I think John likes that it always ends with these guys grinning or smiling, even when they're in the thing.
And that's the way me and Ben work right here. He drives the bus. I'm the talent, even though I'm an asshole. But Ben drives the bus.
Well, if I'm the talent, we're in trouble. It reminds me of college baseball. I played college baseball for 4 days. I played in high school. I was an okay ball player. I played for Duncanville, Texas. Was very good at baseball back then. I did not play a lot, but I was a good ball player. And about 2 years after high school, a guy approached me, and I was going to Cedar Valley College out in Lancaster, Texas. He goes, hey, we're starting a baseball team. And he knew me. He goes, you come out and play. And I thought, really? And he goes, yeah, man, you could tell people you play college baseball. He goes, we're going to start this thing up. We're starting next week. And I was like, wow. All right. So I went out there and practiced for 3 days. Far and away, I was the best player on the team. There's no doubt he had just gone through the halls and looked at anybody like an athlete and said, do you want to play baseball? And I was gone. And he said, what are you doing? I said, dude, I'm your best player. And if I'm your best player, we're going to suck.
And see, I was the best.
Oh, that's great.
The best pitching arm in all of West Texas at one point. Well, when I was in high school.
So nobody plays baseball in West Texas then?
Yeah.
But apparently not.
My pitching skills ended in junior high. I almost tore my neck when I was pitching because after I would deliver, my head would go like that.
Oh, yeah. Started hurting your neck.
Oh, really bad. I mean, people were
No, I threw a 2-hit shutout against Pampa, Texas, and with 12 strikeouts.
That's good.
That is good.
Bam.
I could do that right now against a 12 under rec team.
I was gonna say.
I couldn't. So, all right, John, we'll let you go, man. Thank you for your time tonight.
All right, guys, that was fun, man.
Always good to have you on, John, and keep doing the great work. Who was it? I was thinking just a second ago before we let you go that you guys had someone on your 3 days or 4 days on the team. Remind me where he said he went to college and he was an engineering major the first day.
Oh, That was Cody Bradford.
That was Cody Bradford. Yeah, he said he was an engineering major the first day.
I was an engineering major for one day.
That was great.
I went in the first day and I was like, yeah, I'm not an engineering major anymore.
Well, John Moore, thank you so much. Y'all listen to the Rangers Today Baseball Podcast and subscribe to Jeff's website. $60 for a year, $5.99 a month. Yep.
$5.99 a month. Right now, you could get it 6 months for $35, and that'll get you all the way through the season.
Correct. That is great. And it is great. I read every day, just like you do. I get up with my coffee. I read Jeff's article.
Hey, I had my Ranger Today, the Rangers Report cup out this morning, drinking coffee with it.
Attaboy.
My possum
was going. All right, John. Right. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, John.
Love you, buddy. Take care.
Okay, see you, man. Love you too.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.